Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. Yes, Creative Warrior online programs powered by Vidya Dan and Media and Entertainment is celebrating Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav. And here we are with another workshop by Mr. Nidhin Prem. Today we are talking about uh, digital sculpting for games, as the gaming industry is rising with and taking a huge leap. Now, I'll quickly introduce Nidhin and welcome him here. Nidhin is from Kerala and he represented India at WorldSkills Kazan 2019 for 3D game art and won Medallion of Excellence for it. He has also won silver medal at the Global Skills Challenge in Melbourne, Australia, and the Best of Nation at the same event, at the Australian event. He's been awarded the Skill Ambassador Award by Kerala State Government, and he's been working with Lakshya Digital, and now he is an entrepreneur. He's a freelancer and a 3D artist. So let's quickly have Nidhin. Hi, Nidhin. Good morning. Nidhin, you're on mute.
So sorry. Yeah. Thank you for the welcome. Hi. Hello, everyone.
I missed mentioning that he's been a jury in the state level competitions for Odisha, and now he's going to be a jury in Maharashtra as well at the state level competitions.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Nidhin, session is completely over to you,
All right.
and I'll be here sitting at the back end and learning from you.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. So yeah. So I'm just going to introduce the pipeline for everyone who's present here. So the digital sculpting part in a 3D assets pipeline is pretty important. So as you can see, like most of the games that we have now, they have, when you pay attention to the art that is being made, you know how finely detailed they all are. And that is achieved through, how is spent in digital sculpting softwares. And currently, there is a huge demand for all these sculptors in the industry right now. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be doing a very small asset. I'm going to draw a very small concept and I'm going to turn it into a digital sculpt and show you guys how to do it. So let's get to it. So I'll be sharing my screen. So yeah. So wait. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible for everyone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm not able to access my system for some reason. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Okay. It's on hold. Okay. It's working now. Great. Okay. Now. Ma'am.
A black screen.
Ma'am, my screen is actually constantly blinking. I have no idea why. I'll restart the sharing.
Yes. Just share the window.
Just the window, right?
I want to show. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So I hope you guys can see my screen right now.
It's loading.
It's loading. Okay. Okay, so here you can see I drew a very basic sword.
Yep.
And I have like a few layers to it. So this is this one outline layer that I first made. I wanted to make a very simple dagger-like thing. And then underneath that, I gave a little silhouette for the outline. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to turn this into an alpha map, and I'm going to use this in ZBrush to create a mesh out of this alpha map. So this is a really fast And it's not really used much by people, but this is a very smart and fast way to instantly build 3D assets in ZBrush. So I have the alpha map. So to make my alpha map complete, I need to make sure that the item is in white color and the background is in black. So here's my alpha map. I already exported it, and yeah, I'll show you guys how you can bring this design into ZBrush and turn it into a 3D model. And I know if you guys are just starting out with ZBrush, it could look a bit intimidating considering the UI and all that. But if you take your time to actually get to know more about this particular software, it's gonna reward you pretty good, because the more you practice, the more you're gonna get faster with the all these tools and things that is being provided by the software. So yeah, let's get into it. So I have the alpha ready, and just give me a second. So I'm sharing my ZBrush screen. So what I'll be doing is that I'm going to import the alpha over here. Yeah, this is my alpha, and I'm going to import it. There we go. We have our sword. Okay, there is some issue with my I'm not able to view my thing in full resolution. I'm gonna just restart my sharing. So yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Uh, Ma'am, I'm having a little trouble with the Zoom application.
Is there anything I can support?
Uh, Actually, I would need like 2 minutes to get it fixed. This happened. This
Yeah, sure. Carry on.
Yeah, this hasn't happened to me before. I really am pretty clueless about what's happening.
No worry. Please carry on. Like Nidhin is not aware about what's happening on his system. Last year, we also got a new everything when the COVID lockdown, and now the world seems all new when we actually step out of the house. We see people with the mask, and unfortunately, later I've seen people without even mask and in roaming around in groups. So that's not safe. So just for your safety, make sure that you're wearing your mask and keeping all the precautions before you travel, or even when you go out. We would like to tell you about our media and entertainment creative aptitude test as well. MECAT, Media and Entertainment Creative Aptitude Test, is going to get you the scholarship up to 100% in your favorite institution. Yes, you have to appear for the assessment for the scholarship test, and whatever you score, your percentile will be equal to your scholarship uh, amount when you go and take admission in the partnered institutions. And you'll be glad that there are 350 plus institutions that are partnered for MECAP. So that's happening. The MECAT is on. You can register and participate and get the best of the discounts available in the premium institutions of media and entertainment industry. We'd also tell you about our platform. The Creative Warrior program are coming up with various online and offline programs, and you can register yourself. You can uh, register yourself on creativewarriors.co.in and proceed with your final work and your so based on the best thing is there are celebrities that are giving workshops and conducting sessions. I think Nidhin is done now. He's able to share the screen.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hope everybody can see it.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so what I did was I exported. Yeah, okay. I exported a very basic alpha for the sword thing that I was making. So I'm just gonna go into alpha on the top left, and then I'm gonna select the alpha from the tool menu. What I do is I just click on import, and I have the alpha already set up over here. And what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna go to make 3D, and I'm gonna set a depth level and increase the resolution to like around 700 so that I get a decent mesh from the alpha that I made. So that's it. I'm just gonna click make 3D, and I'm gonna click and drag into the viewport. So now you can see that, okay, it's not good enough. So the thickness is way too much. So I need to redo it, and I will redo it. It's fine. Make sure you select the alpha, and I'm gonna decrease the depth, maybe decrease this as well, and make 3D. Let's see if it worked. Okay, this is perfect. So now we have the basic shape that we made in Photoshop in mesh inside ZBrush. So our first step is done. What I'm gonna do next is that I hope you can see there's this small button called Make Polymesh 3D. Go ahead and click it, and now it's a polymesh. What we do now is that I'm gonna click X. Now X turns symmetry on in one axis. So right now it's just inside X axis. So whenever you make something ornamental or a sword or something that you need to make sure that the symmetry follows on multiple axes. So to ensure that, I need to wait. How do I hide video panel? I need to hide some panels. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is go to preference, transform, go to transform, and go here and select the Z-axis symmetry. So now you can see whenever you put your cursor over your 3D model, you can see that it follows like behind of the model as well. So we know that this mesh is not perfectly apt to be made a 3D asset yet, or a final game mesh. What we need to do is that we need to sculpt out the details for our sword. So the first thing I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go to Control F and Shift F. Shift F will turn on the group view. I'm gonna go to the mask select by clicking Control and select lasso tool. And I'm just gonna select, a portion of it. Okay, for some reason the masks aren't working. Okay, it's working now. I'm gonna turn the L symmetry on, so it turns on the local symmetry. Okay, we have a decent selection here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna click Control W, and that's gonna make a different group. So now we have this done. Okay, now we need to make sure that the top part is of the same group. So what I did was I selected a particular mesh by clicking Control, Shift, and click. This will isolate the selected file. So I made this one a whole new group, and then the bottom of it a different group. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make this one a different group as well. So I'm going to select it carefully. There we go. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click Control W to make it a unique group. So there we go. Now we have like 3 portions of mesh. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to select and separate each one of these objects into different subtools. And to do that, you need to go to split. You need to make sure the one that you need to split is actually hidden. And I'm going to click on split hidden after I isolate it. And then I'm going to click this and I'm going to split hidden. Now we have 3 different parts as different subtools. Now what I'm going to do is that obviously we need to make a lot of changes and we need to close the holes. So what I do usually is that I go to Dynamesh and I make sure I give a good resolution for it. I click Dynamesh and now the holes are closed. You can see it here. I'll show you. So this part is in Dynamesh stage. And as you can see, the holes have been closed. I think I'm going to give a better resolution for this guy. Maybe a bit more. All right, now we have a decent closed hole mesh. I'm going to do the same thing for everyone. I'm going to Dynamesh it into a higher resolution, maybe like around 600, 700. And the same thing goes for everything. I'm going to give a good resolution for this because, you know, it's one of the, it occupies the dominant space of the design. So I'm going to give it a better resolution. So there we have our Dynameshed mesh. Actually, I'm going to change the material to something more grayish. All right, so there we go. So now we need to define the sharp edges of this sword. So I'm going to select this particular brush called Trim Dynamic. And you can access that brush by pressing B, T, and D. And now the Trim Dynamic brush is selected. Once it's done, you just need to crease out the borders. I'll show you. There you go. Like slowly, carefully crease out the borders so that you can get something like this, like a result like this. So carefully define the edge. I think I like this little curve that I accidentally made, so I think I'm gonna keep it. So you gotta do this for the whole sharp edge. So I'm gonna take my time and do that. Meanwhile, if you guys have any doubts regarding ZBrush or anything 3D related, feel free to text on the text channels. I will get back to you. So the main intention of me sculpting this out before making a proxy is that suppose I'm working in a very tight deadline and I already have the concept and I need to make this sword very fastly. So this method can really help you make stuff really, really fast, as you just saw. So yeah, feel free to try this out when you guys, have the time for it. And once I'm done with the sculpting, what I will be doing usually is that I will be giving it a mesh. Like I will be retopologizing the current mesh into a low poly mesh that we can use in game engines or anywhere we want, like into a lower optimized version. So I won't be showing that in this class though. This class is just me sculpting this out. So yeah. So I guess we have, a decent shape made. There we go. I don't think it will cut through anything, but at least it's good for a start. So this is the easiest way to, make anything in ZBrush. Like if you have the 2D art done, you can just turn it into an alpha map and just, make it into a 3D item very fastly. Okay, so I'm gonna go work on the other parts here, which is this. So how I switch between subtools, what I do is that I just click Alt and then I click the particular subtool and it directly changes into that. So there we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably make it stand out a bit, maybe like this much. Yeah, that's good. Gonna define the shape of this particular place. So I am switching to a different brush now. It's called BDS, which is damn standard, which is Damien standard actually, but we call it damn standard because, yeah. So there we go. I'm gonna draw in some patterns and let's see how that works for us. So whatever I draw on this side will be copied onto this side because I have the symmetry on for two sides, which is the X and Z axis. So whatever I make here, it will copy to the other side. I'm gonna try shape it up a bit. There we go. So the next brush I'll be using is BCB, which is clay buildup. And I'm gonna give it a little definition or maybe sculpt in a little detail over here. The other brush is hedge polish. It helps me polish out the edges. So I'm gonna polish these edges out with hedge polish. Meanwhile, I'll go check on my chats. Whoops. How do I? Okay, oops. I accidentally hit my toolbar and now I'm not able to view the chats. I'm very new to Zoom and it continues to confuse me for some reason. I have no idea. Anyways, I'm gonna just stick to my 3D model here. Pooja ma'am. Hello. Are you here with us?
Yes, okay. Yes, Nidhin, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm not able to access my chat box for some reason. Is there any questions on it yet?
Nothing as of now.
Okay, ma'am. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I cleaned this out with a little hedge polish. What I'm going to do now is that why not put some designs? Okay, this looks like a decent design for a sword. Gonna continue making that. And then later on, I'll define this particular design. So the pipeline would be, once I'm done with my high-res, this will be taken into Maya or 3ds Max for retopology. So currently I won't be doing that. I'll be just making the high-res. And yeah, okay. I think I'm done with the dynamic stage. Now I'm gonna turn this into a mesh. So what I'll do is that I'll go to Serial Mesh and I'm gonna duplicate this. So how I duplicate it, I click Control Shift and D, and that's gonna create a new duplicate. And then I'm gonna select one of the duplicates and turn them into a mesh, a proper mesh. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go into Zero Mesh and I'm gonna click Zero Mesh with my symmetry on. So it's gonna give me a clean topology that, to work with. So once I have that topology, I'm gonna have the details in the other mesh to be projected onto the new Zero mesh. So I click Control D to increase the subdivisions. And what I need to do is that have these both selected over here. And I just click Project All, and that's it. The details that I need will be transferred into the new mesh. And I think I'm happy with that. Let's go with this now. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to increase the subdivisions a bit, and I'm going to draw in the details. So to do that, I'm going to switch to DAM standard and carefully drawing out the designs. Because this will be this will project onto the normal maps that we later that we bake later on. So we need to make sure that we pay good attention to all these things. What I'll do is I'm gonna go to stroke. So I need the stroke to be a little more, nicer than how it is right now. So I'm just going to increase the lacy radius. So now I have this guideline, or this particular line that's coming behind the brush to help me draw smoother lines. So use this tool because it's really helpful. Okay, so I need to make sure that all the designs conform on top of the particular model that I'm making, so that I just need to make a simple mesh to make the UVs and then bake the details in. No idea what I'm doing. Okay. Just make sure that the symmetry is working properly. Yes, it is, thankfully. I'm just gonna, okay, that's good. And need to draw the rest of the design. So this is time consuming, and you gotta be patient enough to make all these designs, possible. Like everything takes time and patience, and it's important that you know that. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna go really fast now. Just gonna try to finish it as fast as I can. Okay, there's a, so you can see I'm switching between multiple brushes. So what I switched to right now was move brush that you can access by BMW. That's the default hotkey for the move brush in ZBrush. Okay. Just gonna define it really fast so that I can move on to other stuff really, quickly. Um, DMV to switch to move brush, BDS to switch back to dam standard. It's always handy if you get to learn all the shortcuts. If you do learn all the shortcuts, then that means you can navigate around softwares much faster. So it's always nice to see, it's always great to actually go ahead and look at tutorials on these shortcut tools, because it's gonna help you big time later on. Okay. Okay, we're almost done. Let's go. Feel free to like switch between materials to see, how your model looks in different sort of materials. So I'm going to try, I'll test a little metal shader. So this is how the light's going to bounce. So make sure that you clean stuff out in the end. So I will be just smoothing all these designs down so that it looks nice on the normal map without all these blemishes that we don't want. So make sure that you guys do this step after you're done making your, particular design. Just clean everything up so that, it looks nice and clean. And it's, if you don't pay attention to these, it's definitely going to affect your normal map later on that you will be baking. So as you can see now, it looks much cleaner. So this cleaning step, it cannot be skipped. This is a very important step. You need to clean up. So it's always better to change between materials on ZBrush because, you can see so many different types of lighting that affects this particular model that we're making. And then you could decide how the light can bounce off your model by just, switching between materials. So that gives you much better control over the particular model that you're making. So make sure that you switch between materials while testing out your models. I'm just gonna keep doing the crease thing until I'm happy. So I have my lazy brush on, and that's helping me make these really nice lines without much effort. Pooja ma'am, I hope everybody can see my screen properly.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. If you guys have any doubt or anything, related to 3D game art, you guys can type it down and then I can get back to you after or, in between the class. So.
Nidhin, when we talk about the difference between, different levels of competitions that are happening now at the state level, then go to regional level, is the difficulty level changes or things add on?
Yes, actually, things do add on and also the difficulty changes. So, so just because the things gets add on, the difficulty just changes. So I think for regional level, the duration of the test is going to be a little more different than the state level. So maybe I think there'll be another step which is not part of the state level. So yeah, so the intensity of the competition also changes, the toughness. So usually for our WorldSkills competitions, we are not asked to dwell much on, this particular process that I'm doing. But if you're good at this particular thing, then you'll be able to manage. And actually the judges and, the people who actually correct your tests, they actually love looking at stuff that looks nice. And ZBrush, for instance, it can help you take your model to the next level, because it's just an amazing software, and it's awesome if everybody could actually learn it for the test. So there is so much you can do with it. So I think I have our swords main part. I'm going to delete the part that I don't need. So yeah, I'm happy with the design. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to shift to the other part. How I do it, I just click Alt and click on that particular place. And now I have the selected. I'm going to draw in some details so that it looks nice. You know, we have so many detail over here. We need to balance it out over here as well. I'm just going to sculpt out some designs and see how it looks. Okay, looks decent. Make sure my symmetry is working. Yeah, it is. No. Okay. So now we have our mantle almost done. I'm gonna go back to BTD, which is trim dynamic, and I'm gonna trim these edges down for a bit. So I just want to create a nice handle, which looks nice. Yep, it's okay. It's decent. I'm happy with it. Okay, I'm not happy with it. It's fine. So I can make straight lines by clicking and holding Shift. So there we go. Okay. Actually, I like that design. I'm not even going to change it. That's way too much. Look at how a mistake turned into a design. So this is actually what's fun about ZBrush. You know, you can like go ahead and create something totally new than what you were expecting. It's always full of surprises. That's why this particular career can be fun for some, but stressful for some. But I mostly find it really fun because, you know, sculpting, for instance, for me is very therapeutic. So whenever I'm feeling down, I try to spend a little time on ZBrush or, you know, something, any of the 3D apps, and it automatically just makes my mood better. So yeah. So the next process would be to change this into a low res file. And I won't be doing that in this class though, but I will just finish up with this design so that you guys can get an idea about how you can make something really, really fast and simple in ZBrush, and then take it to, you know, Maya or something for retopology. So yeah, so this is the final part that I need to sculpt. And once I'm done with that, I think I'll be done with my model. I remeshed it. Now I'm gonna subdivide it, and then I'm gonna, yeah, maybe I'll just sculpt some designs. Make sure my symmetry is on, because you wouldn't wanna, do something with a lot of detail and attention and then figure out that, okay, this didn't actually copy to the other side. So then you have to do it all over again. So just make sure that you don't skip these tiny steps in between. Gonna continue with the old twist and turn design that I used earlier. I'm gonna do a little asymmetry over here, I think. No. So I hope everybody watching this webinar benefits from this and actually, try it out at your own homes. Maybe you are a 3D game art contestant, maybe we're practicing for the coming competitions. These tricks are pretty cool, actually. So I hope you guys try this out at your own systems when you get the time. I think our sword is almost ready. I'm happy with the designs. I'm gonna see how it looks. Yeah, it looks fine. So yeah, this is it. This is how you can make something really fast in ZBrush. So what I did was I made a black and white mask of the sword, and then I loaded the alpha here, and then I set the resolution up to like around 500 or 700. That's fine as well. I gave the depth of 3, and then I clicked make 3D, and then that gave me a basic mesh directly from the picture that we put in ZBrush. And after that, I made it a poly mesh by clicking this make polybrush tool. And after that, I separated each part as different subtools. And then I actually gave a dynamesh value to it so that the holes of this model closes. As you can see, there is no open ends, everything's closed. So I did that through dynamesh. And after I did dynamesh, I went to ZRemesh to like make a new mesh. So as you can see, there's a new mesh here. and then I projected the details, and then I started sculpting with a higher subdivision resolution. So yeah, that's it. So this is how you make something really fast in ZBrush. So the process that follows after this will be, we take this particular model into Maya or Blender or 2ds Max, and we give it a completely new topology so that it can be used in, game mesh and stuff, as a game mesh. So I retopologize it, I unwrap the UVs, maybe I will mirror everything because, it's mostly symmetrical. So I mirror it, and then I'll bake the textures into the low-res file. And then I will make the textures and then export it. And that's it. That's the whole pipeline that we could follow. But there's a lot of different ways to approach it. But this, what I just showed you right now, is one approach that you guys could really use, especially when you have some tough shapes to make. You don't need to sit in Maya to, exactly make sure that you fit the model in silhouette. What you need to just do is that turn the file into an alpha card or an alpha image, and then load it in ZBrush and just directly turning it into a mesh. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys liked my session. Maybe this was a pretty new way to, make 3D art in ZBrush. I hope I was able to help you guys. So Pooja ma'am, I think I am done with, my 3D model here.
Yes, it's really amazing, like a sword like this, because for me as a layman, a sword is just a simple thing. And with so much of, artifacts that you have put in your designing and all, it's looking amazing. Now it's kind of a sword that you can put it in your showpiece now. Showcase. So,
Right.
it's really it looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for this session, and it's really wonderful to have you around. And as this here we proceed with this session, I'd like to mention about tomorrow's session as well. It's on rotoscoping by Mr. Jaipal. He's a head of production with Rotomaker. So he'll be here with us tomorrow. And I'd really like to show the creative quickly, if I can open it here.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll request if you can stop your screen share.
I'm trying to figure that part out, ma'am. For some reason, I'm not able to open my Zoom. Just give me like 2 minutes to just figure it out.
Yeah, please. So here we are meeting tomorrow with another session with Mr. Jaipal, Head of Production and Recruitment with Rotomaker. He's going to talk about rotoscoping, what is rotoscoping and the details of it. And that's happening tomorrow. We are coming up with many new initiatives, and our media and entertainment creative aptitude test is going on. So guys, you can register to get the maximum possible scholarship at your favorite premium institution of media and entertainment. Yes, stay safe, take care. Thank you so much, Nidhin.
Thank you. Thank you for
You
giving
also take care. You have to travel soon.
Yes.
And take care, everybody. Stay safe. We'll